Carson Edwards, Niels Giffey, Vladimir Lucic, and Devin Booker. So Niels Giffey getting his starting lineup position instead of Johannes Voigtman. It's been the usual starter for the most part in the season. As we are looking at the man with the whistle, it's the crew chief Damir Javor. It'll be assisted with umpires Carlos Cortez and Luca Cardu. The three men with the whistles in a very important game. And if the motto of EuroLeague basketball is every game matters and devotion, it is incredible, but going into the last round of the regular season, nothing has been decided. We are not sure about the standings. We know the 10 teams that will qualify for the postseason play, but we don't know. Not a single team has a certainty about placing in the standings. What a competition, what a season. This is EuroLeague basketball. Looking at Carson Edwards and Wade Baldwin, the fourth. That's our key matchup between the electrifying scores. Really a lot to look forward in this game, and of course the atmosphere is electrifying and spectacular here at the SAP Garden. Everybody on their feet. A lot of traveling fans of Fenerbahce really behind the bench and behind the Fenerbahce basket. So many of them turning up here. Always great to see the traveling fans. I would estimate about 3,000 to 4,000. Of course, Fenerbahce, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, as the focus of the #2 scorer in the competition. Carson Edwards averaging over 20 points per game, 20.3 to be precise. Is he going to turn up again? Scored 9 3-pointers in the loss against Maccabi, 9 of 18 from downtown. So Carson Edwards enjoying his best season in EuroLeague so far. His best season in EuroLeague so far in his career. A player that does not give up on a single possession offensively or defensively. A very physical guard. Well, we are just moments away from the tip-off. It will be between Nico Melli and Devin Booker at the center court. And really a deafening atmosphere at the SAP Garden. The Turkish fans are on their feet and they are jumping up. Well, you can tell that so much is at stake here with Bayern winning the tip-off. Nick Weiler-Babb starting the offense. Both teams losing in last round, so they really want to get back in a winning ways. That's what their coaches talked about before the game, and the passes intercepting from Weiler-Babb to Booker. Nico Melli playing smart basketball in the lane as Marko Guduric passes the ball to McCollum. McCollum with a three-pointer. He steps in it and scores it. Eric McCollum, 37 years of age, perhaps playing best basketball of his career in his third EuroLeague season. It's Booker up top to hands it off to Weiler-Babb. Weiler-Babb driving, floating, and another turnover by Weiler-Babb. So 2 quick turnovers, but for Nick Weiler-Babb, that's very unusual in first minute of the game. Usually a very focused point guard for FC Bayern Munich. Fenerbahce fouled Eric McCollum, a push foul called on Carson Edwards. Shadas Isikevich, who said we really need to pay all the attention we can. You see the replay of the last foul. Defensively to the shooters, FC Bayern Munich just playing spectacular basketball from the outside. Biberovic with the ball up top, it goes to Guduric. And another steal here, this time by Bayern on the fast break. Weiler-Babb opens the score for Bayern. That is 2-3. And finally, Bayern getting on the way after turning the ball over 2 times in the opening sequence inside inside is Nigel Hayes-Davis with the easy deuce after a dump pass underneath the basket. Nice cut behind the defense. That's an intelligent basketball player, number 8 scorer in the competition, Nigel Hayes-Davis. Booker thought about the three-pointer, passes it off to Lucic. Lucic looks inside to Giffey. Giffey shoots over Hayes-Davis. That's good, simple basketball, and Niels Giffey is one of the most patient players in the competition. The ball is lost, and the last touch by Goodrich on the drive. He's very good, of course, driving to his strong hand, driving left. Just lost the hand. Look at it again. Yeah, he draws the contact, but it was Vladimir Lucic reaching in. And here, and steal and a pass by Vladimir Lucic. The first 2 points for Bayern inside. They go to Lucic in the post against Biberovic. Experience against youth. And it's a good defense by Tarek Biberovic as he forced Vladimir Lucic out of bounds on the spin play. And there you see another turnover. That's turnover number 3 for the home side FC Bayern Munich. They're going to have to sharpen it up as Fenerbahce goes to Biberovic in the corner. Second three-pointer of the game after McCollum. It's Biberovic, who statistically is playing also best basketball of his career, especially in scoring and three-point percentage. A quick three-pointer, make it 3. Eric McCollum. And Fenerbahce is looking extremely focused in the first 3 minutes of the game. It's an 11-4 lead. Wow, a bad shot is blocked by Melli. Melli bringing the ball up, goes back to McCollum. Sets a screen, they go inside the dome. It's a mid-corner by Nigel Hayes-Davis, who's got a size advantage against Giffey. Melli ends up with the ball, shoots another three-pointer. It is a total aerial assault by visitors Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul. And where we have a timeout called by Gordy Herbert of FC Bayern. Down 10. Fenerbahce just jumping out. Gangbusters on the home side FC Bayern Munich. I have not really seen it this year in this building. Bayern being dominated so much like they've been so far by Fenerbahce. And another turnover and a steal by Nico Melli. Very active Fenerbahce players in the lane. He's getting their hands and feet very active. Inside they go to the mismatch. Hayes-Davis swings the ball around the horn. It's corner wide open three-pointer. Missed by Goodrich, but the offensive rebound goes to Melli. Melli with another three-pointer immediately. They are in the zone. Fenerbahce absolutely feeling it and entering any doubts after dropping a game against Barcelona last week. If they are in a playoff mode, they certainly are on top of their game early on here at the SAP Garden. Giffey, a shot fake. The shot is short from long distance. A very rough start here for FC Bayern Munich. Hayes-Davis is grabbed from behind by Niels Giffey. There you see him. Giffey is beat, so he just grabs him from behind, and I think it's going to be 2 free throws, even though Niels Giffey was pointing to the floor. There you see him pleading his case to the referees, but they were of different opinion. He gave the continuation to Hayes-Davis. He said he was in the act of shooting, which translates into 2 free throws for the American forward, Nigel Hayes-Davis. A player that has scored the most points in a single game in EuroLeague history, 50 points last season in a game at home in Istanbul against Alba Berlin. Has also played 9 NBA games for 3 teams in season 17-18. Played for Lakers, Toronto, and Sacramento before arriving in Europe. in Turkey, to be precise. In season 18-19, he signed with the Turkish side, Galatasaray Istanbul, before making his way through Žalgiris Barcelona to Fenerbahce, where he was the member of the first all-EuroLeague team last season. And he has improved his scoring average, so a spectacular season for Nigel Hayes-Davis, who scored both free throws and a 14-point lead for Fenerbahce. Napier with the ball now, who's subbed in the game. Oh, and one off the glass. What a shot by Napier. I think that Bayern will take anything they can get at the moment, being down 14. There is the take against Eric McCollum, the shake and bake. Here the contact off the glass. Thank you very much. That's what Sebastian Napier, who averages double digits, 10.5 points per game this season. Here with the free throw, a chance to complete a three-point play, which he does. Cutting the deficit down to 11, 7-18, with 4:56 to play. Also, Andy Ups, who's guarding the ball, is in the lineup. Playing the defense against Devon Hall, number 20, who's also on the floor for Fenerbahce. Hall with the ball. Thought about a penetration, backed it out. He takes another three-pointer and misses it left. Napier is there to collect the long rebound. Dribbles up, goes inside the Euro step. What a kick ball, so it's going to be new 14 seconds for Bayern, who tried to push the ball up with Sebastian Napier. There is Napier on his drive, just Euro steps around the defender, and there Tarik Biberovic with a kick ball. Still a double-digit lead for Fenerbahce. Booker. Oh, give 5 to Andy Ups. One of the best shooters in EuroLeague, who's been a bit off last month or so after scoring 11 three-pointers in a game against Barcelona here in this building. A EuroLeague record. Well, the referees correct their initial call. They're the last one to touch. It seems it was Ken Burge or Tarik Biberovic. There, Ken Burge, number 92. A missed shot from the outside by Devin Booker, who stepped out. Hayes-Davis very patient against Andy Ups. That is such a smart basketball by Hayes-Davis, who did not absolutely rush anything with the advantage that he had over Ups. Now he has to play defense against Vochtman. And a push foul is called on Ken Burge after a fake by Devin Booker. Devin Booker, an instrumental part for Bayern in the first part of the season, and went down with a knee injury that he sustained in the German league. Was out for approximately 3 months, so a long-term absence, but Devin Booker back in full contact. Of course, some time required to get back in his normal swing of things. Scored the first free throw. The first part of the season, it was him and Carson Edwards in top 10 scorers in the competition. So for Bayern's sake, let's hope that Devin Booker will be able to find his former shape and form as soon as possible. The score stands at 9-20. With Fenerbahce patiently working the ball to Hayes-Davis, who missed it long on a floater going for the middle. Napier to Vochtman. Vochtman driving, gathers up. A smart move there by Vochtman, who had a good size advantage against Dante Hall, who tried to recover. Ball into Hayes-Davis. They look inside to Burge, nothing there, so Biberovic takes it. Biberovic driving, tries to step around Gifai, and he does. A nice move, good footwork by Tarik Biberovic, who is averaging career best 10 points per game. Really a breakthrough season for Tarik Biberovic last year under coach Sharas Yasikevicius. Bosnian Turkish player Tarik Biberovic, as there was a foul on the play called on Ken Burge. There you see the traveling fans of Fenerbahce. There, I beg your pardon, it was on Nigel Hayes-Davis, number 11, as he held on to the body of Devin Booker, who was trying to free himself up and go to the basket on the lob pass. Nothing there, as Elias Harris is in the lineup for Bayern instead of Booker. Napier driving, hanging in the air, getting the contact, but missing the shot. Baldwin pushing the ball up, and the foul is called on Harris. That's going to be third team foul for Bayern. There you see, just really aggressive in the open court. Wade Baldwin had a spectacular season last year with Maccabi. Almost pushed them to the Final Four if it was not for the hamstring injury. With the ball, Wade Baldwin. That's how we know him, the superb athlete and a great shooter from mid-range. Hangs in the air, knocks it down. 24-11. Fenerbahce is just really doing everything well here in the first quarter. Obst driving and missing, but it's Elias Harris with the follow-up. That's the way to stay with the ball by Elias Harris. Biberovic out to Dechampierre, number 21. A lot of substitutions. That's what Gordy Herbert was talking about. There are 10-12 man deep Fenerbahce as Tarik Biberovic scores from mid-distance. He's up to 7 points, and he's the high scorer for Fenerbahce, not missing a shot. 2 for 2 from 2, and 1-on-1 from long distance. Tarik Biberovic having a very good game here at the SAP Garden. And the ups off the dribble three-pointer. Just misses it long. Andy Obst is number 2 in three-pointers made, 2.9 per game. I said it before, he made 11 three-pointers in the game against Barcelona here in this very building. There you see the physical battle between the two big men, Elias Harris and Ken Burge. Also Dechampierre getting into the mix. Baldwin to Dechampierre. Dechampierre steps through but misses really short. Thought he had a good look at the basket. It seems that the ball slipped out of his hand. His minutes and production down in the major way. The Canadian international, Dechampierre. There, the Fenerbahce fans in the festive mood. Well, they got a reason. Their team been up 26-13. It's been all smiles as Andy Obst misses his first three-point attempts. He just cannot find his mark here today. But he can get going very quickly, Andy Obst. You better keep an eye on him. Burge to Bouncy Coulson. That's a nice cooperation between the two big men of Fenerbahce. Beko. Good presence of mind there by Ken Burge just to dish it back to Cutting Coulson. And the foul is called on Baldwin. A pretty hard foul, if you ask me. Oh, Shabazz Napier. Just trying to get away from him. There, a look of concern on the face of Carson Edwards. I said it before, Bayern can finish if victorious here today as high as number 4 in the standings. Should they lose, they can end up as low as number 10. So this is exactly what they really want to avoid. As the buzzer sounds, so the first 10 minutes are finished here. It's been a one-sided story here as the visitors storm on the floor. Percentages scored. Let's see if Bayern can get it going in the second quarter. And they really need their shooters And they need to stop Fenerbahce that scored 28 points in the first 10 minutes of the game. They try to push up the defense with Vladimir Lucic playing tough against Pierre. It's wide open. Devin Hall, thank you very much. Another three-pointer, increasing the already incredible percentage of 71% from downtown to 75, 6 of 8. If my math is correct, that is an unbelievably high percentage. Napier gets the screen from Harris. Harris in the open spot, hands it back. He's gonna have to shoot it. He does a desperation three-pointer. He makes it off a turnaround. Elias Harris with a spectacular shot. Oh my, what a play. A bit of a luck involved, but I think Bayern's gonna take it. Bonzi Colson on a cut. Player that's got an unbelievable wingspan, misses, but Ken Burge does what he does best, and that is offensive rebounding. Averages 3.5 rebounds per game. Another steal there, this time by Bonzi Colson. 3-on-1, an easy finish, and it's all Fenerbahce here in Munich, the Bavarian capital. It's been all team in yellow. Jumping up to the biggest lead of the game. It is 19 at the moment. Bayern 16. Fenerbahce 35. Well, if we are just really expecting a dogfight here, it's been all about that. It's Napier with the ball. Let's see how they execute out the timeout. They got 7-6 to shoot on the shot clock. A tough three-pointer. Not really a good look at the basket. Johannes Vochtman there. Tried to shoot it over Dechampierre. It's 1 out of 8, 12.5% for the home side, after averaging 39.3% for the season as a team. Carson Edwards. Edwards operating against Hall. Swings his way through and scores it on the reverse. Carson Edwards, the team's leading scorer, and number 2 in the competition, averaging over 20 points per game, and a push-off, a smart play there to initiate a contact by Vladimir Lucic against Bonzi Colson. There you see Lucic just getting in the face of Bonzi Colson, who was coming up the lane after the screen there. The clear push-off with the extended right hand. The referee's on top of it. That was an easy one to make. There you see the team turnover, 6-4. And make it 7 after that last pass that was intended on the cut for Weiler Bab. Goodrich to Colson, who almost lost the ball. Back to Goodrich. Inside they look for Melly. He does get the ball against Weiler Bab, who has to foul him to stop the offense. That's very patient execution there by Fenerbahce. Not really trying to really pick in their spots. Doing the fundamentals well. Great footwork on the post-up. Trying to get a deep position there by Nico Melli. As Devin Booker is back into the lineup, subbing in for Elias Harris. It's really important for Bayern to have Devin Booker in best possible shape in the postseason play, as Wade Baldwin draws the foul on the drive. Going left. They're drawing the contact from Vochtman. That would be number 2 team foul for Bayern. It was in the act of shooting, so Fenerbahce is going to have a very good free throw shooter at the line with Baldwin. Wade Baldwin, who just turned 29 years of age on the 29th of March. So belated happy birthday to Wade Baldwin IV, who played his collegiate basketball for 2 seasons for Vanderbilt University. Was a first-round draft pick. Number 17, played in 56 games in his NBA career. Scored his free throws and is going to the bench. Wade Baldwin. His scoring average down from his Maccabi season last year, but more competitive team here in Fenerbahce. 12 deep. One of the deepest teams in the competition. Edwards closely guarded by Marko Guduric. He just really brought out his defense. Got piece of face of Carson Edwards. Apologizes to him there, you saw it. A good show of sportsmanship there on the crossover. The hand of Marko Guduric goes across the face of Carson Edwards. A foul and out of bounds play with 7:02 to play in the second. It's Booker going inside to Lucic. Lucic around Colson. That was a quick move by Vladimir Lucic. An immediate spin to the baseline. No help side coming. A beautiful read there. Immediately just spins off the defender. And the only way that Colson could stop the shot of Vladimir Lucic was by fouling him. So 2 free throws coming up from the team captain, Vladimir Lucic, also a member of the Serbian national team. Had difficult last 2 seasons with injuries, elbow injury, leg injury. A player that spent his youth years with Partizan Belgrade, Vladimir Lucic, also played for Valencia. And kick ball by Wilderbab. Off the pass by Guduric. Marko Guduric in his 7th seasons with Fenerbahce on 2 stints. Went to the NBA, to Memphis Grizzlies for half a season before coming back to the Turkish capital. And just really feeling comfortable, I would say, this season under the guidance of head coach Runas Jasikevičius. Ready to inbound the ball, goes to Eric McCollum. McCollum driving, and it's Guduric with a 3-pointer. The ball just rims out. Good look for Guduric. It's Lucic with a quick 3-pointer, a short one. And it's Nico Melli with a defensive rebound. Guduric with another 3-pointer after the missed one. There you see the confidence. Immediately going back to the shot that he just missed. It's been difficult going. Bit of a mental lapse here again. Tough pass ahead. Missed pass, I should say. That's turnover number 8 for Bayern. They are down by 18 points in the second quarter, 1937. As Nigel Hayes-Davis hands it off to Marko Guduric. Guduric to Melli. Melli with a 3-pointer. Again from long distance. It's Nico Melli, 3 of 3, has not missed a long distance shot. So much patience there for Nico Melli. There, the foul on Melli. A bit of a frustration, and here the last shot. Melli over Vochtman. Just really stretching on the defense and making it difficult for Bayern. Lucic driving, Lucic losing the ball. And it's Fenerbahce in the corner, Hayes-Davis. Hayes-Davis going around to McCollum. And McCollum just stepped out of bounds right when he was receiving the ball from Hayes-Davis. So a rare turnover for Fenerbahce. Shadas Isikevich is there signaling to his player, Hayes Davis, that he should have shot it perhaps. Well, that's what you like. If coach is calling you too unselfish, it's not a bad complication. Carson Edwards misses on the layup. And he was closely guarded by Goodrich and Melly, and he listens to his coach. It's Hayes Davis with a three-pointer. There you have it. Shadas Isikevich's as Hayes Davis just a sequence before to take an open shot, and there he did. Knocking down another three-pointer for the visitors, much to the delight of numerous Fenerbahce fans that are here at the SAP Garden. Booker against Melly almost loses the ball inside to go to Weiler-Babb. That's a good read from Booker, who almost lost the ball but saw Weiler-Babb just sealing in on McCollum. That is a high percentage shot. 21-42, 22-point lead for Fenerbahce. McCollum for another three-pointer. Ball almost went in, but the rebound goes to Vochtman. Vochtman brings it up, hands it off to Edwards. Edwards doubled to Vochtman to Booker. Booker thought about a three-pointer, but drives instead. He goes inside to Lucic, and it's a 3-second call. That's fairly rare, but Vladimir Lucic really camped it out there in the paint. That's what, not only of this game, but many other games. And there will be played, 6 of them to be played today and 3 tomorrow. After the miss by Hayes Davis, it's Weiler-Babb starting the offense for Bayern. That is down by 22 in the second quarter. And a tough pass, high-low. But it was too much communicated between Booker and Giffey. So another turnover for Bayern, as Marko Guduric has the ball now. Looks to Hayes Davis, who is wide open but misses that time. Hayes Davis got 8 points and 3 assists so far. A very active Hayes Davis defensively there, jumps in front of Devin Booker. This is exactly the aggressive offense that you want to see if you are a coach in the post. Don't settle for the defensive position behind the player, but just swim, try to get inside of him, in front of him, I should say. Oh, a great effort there by Hayes Davis. So we have substitutions on both sides. It's Napier in the lineup for Bayern, and Biberovic and Baldwin in for Fenerbahce. And coach Shadas Isikevichus, who just keeps subbing to keep the fresh legs on the floor. Ahead by 22 points, things are working out. Danko Brankovic, the tallest guy on the roster of Bayern. Also, after a miss by Weiler-Babb from 3, Shooters is really taking a night off there for Bayern. Inside they go to Booker. Booker double team inside. He goes to Brankovic. Brankovic takes the contact and is able to push the ball in. Good strong catch. And a layup, or lay-in I should say, by Danko Brankovic there. A good pass by Booker. That will be 3rd assist by Devin Booker. He's been really good on passing the ball. With defense of Fenerbahce focusing on Devin Booker, he's been passing the ball well. This time to Danko Brankovic, who makes it a 3-point play. They're cutting the deficit under 20, 24-43. With 2 minutes 36, Nico Melli goes to the bench to take a breather. And we have Jocelyn Bango, a new signee that signed just 7 games ago from the ACB team of Zaragoza from Spain. In his rookie EuroLeague season, number 44. Now underneath the basket, fighting for position, getting the ball now. He passes off to Hayes Davis, make it rain. And it's what Nigel Hayes Davis says. Or does he not? As we have the review. I think it was the crew chief, Damir Yavor, asking for the review if the ball left the hand of Hayes Davis on time. Let's see a different. They don't. No, it's counted. I beg your pardon. So the score is 24-46. As Devin Booker gets a nice pass on the inside, he splits the defense and is able to score it. So the three-pointer counts by Hayes Davis. He's got 11 points, a high scorer, and also the passer with 3 assists with the ball again. Goes to Hall, back to Hayes Davis. Hayes Davis averaging the most points in his EuroLeague career this season. Hall with a short three-pointer. The shot clock was winding down, so he had to take that shot. Napier to Giffey to Weiler-Babb. Inside to go to Booker. Booker finds Giffey on the inside. Beautiful passing and cut behind the defense by Niels Giffey to the very open spot. Easy laying there right from underneath the basket. And an assist number 4 for Devin Booker. It is a timeout called by Fenerbahce. They are still up by 18. And Coach Harris is the Kavicius. A lot of physicality coming your way. Biberovic from the corner thought about the three-pointer, but drives instead and loses the ball. He does. It's out of bounds for Bayern. Very emotional. Coach Istakevich is on the sidelines. A bad read there by Biberovic. With a decent look at the basket. Tarek Biberovic averaging 53% from downtown, so perhaps he could have taken the three-pointer. Brankovic back to Weiler-Babb, gets a screen from the big man. It's Booker with a three-pointer. Ball just touched every part of the rim before rolling out. So a bad break there for Bayern. It's 1 out of 11, so in single digits. If you talk about the percentage from downtown, 9% to be precise. That is an extremely low shooting percentage for Bayern Munich in this season. Weiler-Babb does not help the cause. 1 of 12. Goes for another one and knocks it down. Finally, one rings down. That's the way to stay with the ball. Getting a second shot, very much to the displeasure of Šarūnas Jasikevičius on the sidelines. He did not like it in one bit. We got 13 seconds to go. Fenerbahce up by 15. And his offensive foul on the screen. That would be Joseph Bango setting a screen on Wade Baldwin. There's a quick sub there. Bango out and Ken Birch in. There you see movement in the screen on Weiler-Babb. An easy call for the referees. And here's the second three-point attempt by Weiler-Babb. Only a second successful three-pointer of the game. But making it somewhat playable here. Down, quote-unquote, only 15 points with 8 seconds left in the second quarter. It is ball for Bayern. Let's see if they can get a good shot, good look at the basket. And take some points off the deficit. Weiler-Babb to Obst to Booker. Napier fakes out, three-pointer, does not go in. That was a good look at the baskets for Shabazz Napier after faking out Hall, who just